these were the easiest succulent containers I've ever made. So all I did was I filled these pots up with soil, wetted down the soil, took cuttings off of my succulents, so just snipped the tips right off and just stuck them in. And that was it. And now they're like really rooted, as you can see. So it was super easy. So I'm going in to check this one. A lot of the mealy bugs like to hang out on the underneath, wherever they can hide. I don't see any in here. I look in between. You want to look along the stems, the leaves. Oh, here's some. Here's some right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and treat that. I really wet them until I see the whiteness move a little bit, because that means that I got underneath that mealy bug. Because if you're just spraying on top, a lot of times it doesn't penetrate them because they're kind of wax coated with a protection. I'm gonna come over here and get them as well. There. So if there's some there, that means that there's probably more somewhere else.
Yep. Just pulling some of those dead leaves off that can attract them, right?
Yeah, it's just more places for them to hide. And even though I don't see a lot or anything really in there, I'm gonna go ahead and just spritz in there anyway. Because if there was some over on the other side, you know that there's bound to be some popping up over here as well. That one should be good. So yesterday I did this same treatment on this succulent here. It was actually all right here, super heavy. So when I came out here today to check after I sprayed with that spray, they were all just dead. I used my scissors to kind of, you know, move them around, and nothing was moving at all. So after I noticed that, then I just went ahead and smushed them anyway, and then I rinsed them off with a hose. So this whole succulent here is completely clean now. You also want to check, because sometimes they start going into the stem of your plants.
Almost like a tick.
Yeah, but so you got to make sure to really spray that, because this has the oil in it, so it's almost like suffocating them in those little spots. Got it all taken care of now, and he's ready to live on. Any of the leaves that fall off of the succulents while I'm checking them, I actually go ahead and rinse them, and then I just lay them out right here in the bright sun, and then they just start rooting. They get a little root from here. You can also lay them on top of soil like I've showed in the past, and they root right into the soil and they create a whole new succulent. So you don't always have to cut off the top of a succulent. Like if you do, I'd cut it right around here and then stick it into soil, just like these. With these, that's what I did. Their mama was dying from the mealy bugs, so I went and cut all the good parts off, cleaned them up really nice, sprayed them down with some oil, neem oil, and then placed them in here. So there's many different ways that, you know, you could be multiplying your succulents, and it's really super simple.
So it looks like you put 5 of them in there? Is that?
Yeah, yep, and they're really small when I did it. So they've grown quite a bit since then. Mm-hmm. And even with this one too, I just did a few different varieties together to create more of a succulent combination, so that way you can always plant it up into a bigger pot as it grows. Next we're going to talk about the aloe. So I'm going to have Jason take down our big guy here, and this is the first time we've taken him down since December.
Woo.
Is he heavy?
Yeah.
Working those muscles.
Daddy.
It's actually a Mac Mama.
Yeah, Mac Mama.
Because she's always popping the babies out.
So good though. Look at that.
I know.
Whew.
I know. This is really one of my favorites. So what's really cool about this plant is that it lasted in our basement without being watered for 2 years. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it just sat down there. A little bit of light, but not much.
Yep. And this is what it looked like when we found it in the basement and brought it up to rescue it. And it had so many babies. And it doesn't even have as many babies now as it did then. These are a couple of the babies that we took off of the Big Mama last year. And as you can see, the more room they have to grow, the bigger they get, because they were the same size when they started out. But I did pot this one up, but left that one in the little black pot when I did that. So what I did to separate the babies off of the big aloe was I actually removed it from the pot that it was in, and I literally took a large sharp kitchen knife and I went in and cut the babies off of the mama's roots. And then when I separated them, then I just went ahead and planted them into these 3.5-inch pots. And all I used was the Professional Growers Mix by Jolly Gardener. That's what I use for like everything. They've been in this pot, this one's been in this pot since last year. So if it got bumped up, I mean, it would grow and catch up pretty quickly. A lot of people are using the aloe leaf in like homemade sanitizers.
Hand sanitizer, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to look into that because I've got so much aloe. I have so many little succulents laying around, so it's always fun to just kind of, you know, take time with each one because they're all so unique in their own way. So this one's kind of like a little mini tree, and Jason actually found this one.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's one of his favorites, and it actually is a type of a jade plant. If this got potted up right now, it would probably grow really fast. So we could.
Yeah, let's do it. I want to see how fast it grows.
Well, we got the materials here, so I figure we might as well bump up this succulent into something bigger and watch it grow and keep you guys updated on it. I actually have quite a few over there that could use some bumping up.
So then the pot doesn't get filled all the way up to the top?
Well, I fill it this tall because this is a pretty big root ball, so if I were to fill it all the way and try to make a big hole for that, a lot of the soil would overflow and fall out. So we're going to plant it in there first and then fill it in with dirt around it.
Gotcha.
So just going to take that out of there. Okay, I'm going to check it really quick. See all these little leaves? These could be brand new succulents. All of them.
Cool.
Yeah. Look at this one.
Oh yeah, it's already rooted.
It's rooted into there.
Wow.
So yep, so if I plant this, it'll pop up as a succulent. So I'm going to keep that. I don't have many of this kind, so. Oh, here.
Yeah.
So this is what happens off of the leaf. It's not the leaf that is the plant. It makes a plant off of the leaf. So a little baby one sprouts from it. So I've got some perlite here. So I just add a little bit of extra perlite. Just like that. We're going to mix that into the bottom nice. It just lightens up the soil a little bit more for these succulents. So as you can see, it's not that big of a difference, but it's just enough because succulent roots are a lot finer. And if you can see right here, I could literally just cut this off and this would be a whole new plant already. It's already got roots and ready to go. Little leaves fall off. We're keeping those guys.
Yeah.
Those are more. You know what? I think I am going to go ahead and cut this one. There we go. Because there's so many roots on it.
So basically when you take like a cutting of a succulent, you want to make sure the soil's wet in the pot before you put it in?
It's just like when I do cuttings, I always wet the soil first and then stick.
Got it.
And we could really stick a couple other things in here that are more upright.
To kind of brace it?
It doesn't need to be braced. It's fine with that. It just, you know, for a little combination. So as it roots in there, you can pot it into a bigger pot and then you have like a bigger succulent combination. So let's see. We could do this one. This one's always more upright. So we'll come down, we'll leave a little leaf on it. There we go. I'll stick that one right here towards the back. So that's kind of trailing in front. This will get a little taller. And then I'll add in a couple other little ones. Why not? We'll add in some of these little guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut just a few off. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is put them all together like this. I'll come over here and make a little hole like this. Stick those guys in and just go like that. And this little guy right here, I'm gonna cut him off. Uh-oh, mealy bugs.
Ooh.
Yeah, darn it. We're gonna have to spray there. So these leaves you could multiply. I'm just gonna go like this. Take off the bottom leaves, okay? So I take those leaves off just so there's a little bit of a nub to stick into the soil a little bit. But since we found mealy bugs on it, I also wanna go ahead and just spray it down just in case there's any extra little eggs or anything on there, okay? And then I'm gonna go ahead and stick it. We're just gonna stick that one right there.
Awesome.
2 months, it'll look a lot
now how
different.
cool would that be for a nice little Mother's Day gift, right?
That would be super cute.
Mm-hmm.
Karen,
Yep.
my mom's already got enough plants.
Right.
She doesn't want anymore.
Right.
Look at this little guy. He's all ready. So that container we already potted up, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of stick it in there. There you go. So these are the type of trays that I like starting things out in. They're 172s. I'm just gonna get these watered quick. These are some of my other cuttings. I usually just spritz them, but they looked pretty dry. So I just make sure that the soil is nice and wet. And then when they're just leaves like this, I actually just place them right like that. You can even just lay them on top too, and they'll just naturally root in. But I always just give them a little nudge, just so that way they're, you know, set up for success just a little bit more. We're just giving them a little help. And this one here is the one with the root already. So I'm just gonna go like that and just place it right like that a little bit. I'm gonna do the same with all of these guys. Go like that. This little one fell off of that one over there, so I'm just gonna actually place it in with a buddy.
The buddy system.
Little buddy. And these two are really small, so I'm gonna buddy them up too. And I'm gonna stick them in. Show you guys how they all do. Another one fell off. Another cutting. That we could easily go succulent.
Yeah.
Trust me. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I mean, I just have so much fun playing with the succulents. I hope you guys got some good tips, some good ideas, and now you're ready to just go and start your own. So thank you so much for watching, and if you don't already subscribe, feel free to click that subscribe button, and don't forget to click on the bell so you don't miss any new videos. Okay, thank you so much, you guys. Have an awesome day.